Hi, everyone. Welcome to Module 7. We're on the home stretch, just less than a couple weeks left in class. I mentioned last week that the last 2 weeks will begin to lighten up in content and be a little bit more application, so hopefully more interesting for you. In Chapter 17, you're going to learn about managing communication. What you'll learn about in this chapter is how important it is to be an excellent active listener as well as an expert processor. You'll learn about how important it is to keep the communication lines open as a manager, and really that as a manager that you need to be a communications champion and have purpose-driven communications. Another thing this chapter talks about is communicating mission, vision, and values to your employees. So it's really important that every organization has a strategic plan that serves the North Star that they want to head to, and that they constantly point back initiatives or focus areas on where they want to go in the future to gain buy in, as well as to have consistency and start to achieve the long term goals that they want. This chapter will talk about an open communication climate, the importance of asking thoughtful questions, thought provoking questions, probing questions to elicit the right feedback to be able to improve. And then also the importance of nonverbal communication. So, in many professional mentorships that I have, individuals have had me read books on the importance of body language and nonverbal communication. So, again, critical components to being a successful manager. And then finally, this chapter will wrap with talking about some other communication networks, which are might be social or might be personal. So, regardless of the means that your manager communicates with you, I really want you to think about a time when you've had an effective manager, whether they had a weekly huddle or whether you had a group text that went around, or what sort of culture they set to make it be to where you could be open and honest and transparent, and you can move forward in positive change. And maybe you don't have that yet, but you can aspire to get there in your next job. But communication is really probably the most important component that a manager can use to set the tone for a great culture. In chapter 19, you're going to learn about quality and performance management. You'll learn about the different methods of control. And then you'll also learn about something called a balanced scorecard. So, whenever I hear about a balanced scorecard, the first thing that I think about are our school systems. So, we constantly hear a grade that they get on their scorecard, and that very much relates to um, organizational effectiveness and management. So, that's a great example. At the college level, we are governed by something called the Higher Learning Commission, which maintains our accreditation and our ability to offer federal financial aid. So we make a commitment to something called AQIP, which is a quality improvement initiative that's essentially ongoing forever. So we're committed to working on at least two continuous quality improvement projects. And there's never a point where we don't have two going. So that's just something that we commit to for accreditation and something that we need to do to continually improve. In this chapter, you'll also learn about Six Sigma, you'll learn about benchmarking, budgets as it relates to quality management. But all of these different things that you're learning about are essentially like a dashboard of metrics that an organization should use to kind of monitor or have a pulse on how they're doing. Some people have a formal dashboard that they look at that might be like a red, yellow, green light thing. Some have something called key performance indicators that they measure. Everybody does it in a different way, but it's important that there is some form of quality management in the workplace. I think the key to this chapter is that as a leader and manager, not only do you need the effective communication that you, a lot of times in organizations, I see probing questions being asked, and you really have to be at a vulnerable state to be able to be in that improvement attitude and want to continuously grow, no matter how much you've refined a process or perfected a process. So, with these two chapters, you'll do a couple of the self assessments. There will be a discussion and some mind tap work. And then, as soon as we know it, we'll be heading on to module 8. So, again, don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything at all. I hope everyone has a great week.